good evening, good evening, and welcome to My Spouse is My Best Friend. I'm your co-host, Nicole.
And I'm Dr. Jason Green.
And tonight we want to talk about our kiddos. So we are all in that time of the season where it's back to school. And so there's a lot of things that we need to do to get prepared for physically, mentally, emotionally. It's kind of a chaotic sometimes in our household trying to prepare for back to school.
I know, whether you're a grandparent or a parent, you gotta get back in that mindset, right? The mind shift. We've been all summer with kids running around, and we have a different routine. It's time to settle back in and get back to what you were doing when the school year's back in. So we're gonna talk about some ways to do that, some things, some practical tips, and some marriage check-ins that we need to do, or that we do, and really. Hone in on getting ready to get those kids back to school.
Yep. So let's start talking about aligning as a couple. So nobody really wants to spend 8 hours at the mall or shopping for school supplies or dealing with teenagers that's really picky about what type of clothes they want to wear.
Especially if you have girls.
Exactly, for the year. So there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety that you go through of trying to get everybody together. And again, it can be chaotic for the new year. And so I would say start by talking as a couple. What's the expectations? What are things that we want to do and to accomplish to get these kids back into school?
And remember to share the wealth. I mean, fellas, I know the shopping thing is just, it can be taxing sometimes,
Yep.
but make sure that you're not putting your wife in the situation to where they have to do everything by themselves. Share the wealth, bite the bullet, go out. I mean, I like going out with my kids and go out to school shopping. It was fun seeing them trying on their different outfits and whatnot, and laughing and spending that time, because you also use that time to spend with your kids, right? And your wife. You can make it, a time to connect with your wife and your kids at the same time. And we used to do that. We used to go to the mall. They used to have a budget, and they could pick up their clothes. We made it a family event. So make it fun. Get ready to go back to school and make it, use it to connect back to your wife and connect to your kids as well.
Yep, and we used to make a day out of it. So we would all get together, go to the mall, go to different shops, but we'd also stop and have lunch. So again, we're spending quality time, spending time hearing it from the kids, what they're excited about, what they're anticipating for school to start, and just kind of getting together as a family.
So yeah, that was fun. Another thing is you want to make sure you check in with your spouse. What is your responsibility? It changes over time, right? I know every year we have a routine. I mean, I know me and her, we get up in the morning every other week. I'll get her ready for a whole week, and get up, make her breakfast, and not her, but the kid. Make her breakfast. But it's okay to make your wife breakfast too. But
please.
Make her breakfast, get it up, and then we just switch sleeps. And so spend that time to, sit down and find out what kind of routine that you're going to do, how you're going to get those kids out the door. Make sure that you're on the same page, so you know what to expect throughout the whole school year.
Yeah, and I appreciate the alternating of the drop off. So the weeks that it's his turn, I get to sleep in just a little bit, not a lot, but at least I get to not have to think for an extra 30 minutes that week. And so it helps a lot when you divide and conquer and making breakfast and getting the kids out the door, and they're forgetting things and you have to turn around and come back and pick up things. And so it's nice to kind of have that reprieve that every other week or whatever the frequency is. Because with the older girls, you had to take them to practice early in the morning. And he knew I'm not a morning person.
Team, they had cheerleading. They had all kind of extracurricular. They weren't driving. And they all went to 3 separate schools.
Yeah.
So, it was a little difficult there. But, we made it through. Like I said, we had a plan. Mm-hmm. We executed it. We made sure that we were on the same page. So we did good.
I think your plan was to hurry up and get them into driver's ed so they could drive themselves.
As soon as they turned 15, they were in driver's ed, baby, because that 6:30 in the morning with cheerleading and everything else wasn't happening. Yeah. They were on the road when they were 16. These kids don't want to drive until they're 18. I don't understand. When I was 16, I was ready to drive. But, they were all driving at 16.
Now they just Uber and Uber Eats.
Yeah, pretty much. But so yeah, remember to have your we always are big proponents of marriage check-ins. We always talk about our wind down Wednesdays, and we make sure that we talk about that, making sure things kosher, make sure everything's going all right. And we include the kids, we include the routine, making sure that it's working for both of us, because things are going to change, especially when you're working. So we make sure that we check in, that the schedule's still good, that we're both still comfortable in what we're doing and everything else. So make sure you check in with your wife in those. Remember your wind down Wednesdays, okay? Make sure you check in those times.
And then also remember to intentionally be faith focused. So again, make sure that you're praying as a unit, but then also praying with your kids as you're sending them out the door, teaching them how to pray, keeping them in church, making sure they attend church. It's funny because we know some couples that they ask their kids, "Hey, Johnny, do you want to go to church today?" But little Johnny doesn't get a choice of whether he wants to go to school or not. So that's kind of a little backwards. And so again, we want to encourage you to teach your children to rely on God throughout the day, throughout the week, so they can establish their own relationship with Him, and then make sure that they show up at church, even as teenagers. Get them out the bed. You can't be in this house without having to go to church. I don't care which service you go to, as long as, and matter of fact, you don't even have to stay awake through the whole thing. At least you in the building, right? So get up and get out and let's go.
Yeah, remember, school is a preparation, right? And so you want to make sure that you can get as close as life as possible. They go out just like we go out to work and do everything else. They're going to school. They're facing different trials and tribulations and obstacles, and come home and have different days and whatnot. Today was a bad day. We got a lot of that. Oh Lord! But teach them how to pray through it, right? It's a perfect example, a perfect playground to teach them how to pray, teach them how to trust in God and turn things around, and that every day is not going to be that day, right? So use that as a playground to teach them how to who to turn to when things are in awry.
Yep. And hopefully they're learning scripture. So they're learning there's a scripture for any and everything that they're going through. So, whether they're at church learning scripture, make sure that you're also doing devotionals at home. Even if it's just a 5-minute devotional, just again, teach them how to pray and then teach them about scripture.
Absolutely. I think that's very important as well. So that's our take. Our little one is going starting next Wednesday.
Yep.
She's probably going kicking and screaming, but she's going. I'm not ready. So that's what we're hearing around here right now. This year is going to be different. So the plan is that she's going to get up and make her own breakfast and get herself ready for school, her own self. Now we will supervise, but it's about time she hit those double digits. So things are going to be different this year. We'll tell you how that goes. Hopefully it works.
5 of 5. 5 of 5. Get out.
5 of 5.
Get out of the house.
Last one. So hope y'all have a great day. Make sure to click like and subscribe, follow us and whatnot. Make sure you check out our website too.
www.myspousemybestfriend.com.
Yes. So we'll see you next week. Thank y'all. We love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Stripe.